This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2, Thank you, David. It's Monday, August 9th. I'm Tori here with Brandon and Erica. We're grateful that you are here with us. Let's get started because one of the 11 women who've accused New York Governor Andrew Cuomo of sexual harassment is breaking her silence. She's also filed a criminal complaint against him, so that's jail time is what she wants. Here's what she told CBS this morning about two separate alleged incidents. Let's take a look.
I then felt, while taking the selfie, his hand go down my back onto my butt, and he started rubbing it. Not sliding it, not, quickly brushing over it, rubbing my butt. And that's when he put his hand up my blouse and cupped my breast over my bra. I exactly remember looking down, seeing his hand, which is a large hand, thinking to myself, oh my God.
Cuomo has denied the accusation and says he never touched anyone inappropriately. He is also resisting the ongoing calls to resign, including President Biden, who is in his party, including many others. Just so you guys know, Melissa DeRosa, one of his top aides, resigned this morning. She was included in the report as having leaked or tried to leak evidence to discredit one of the accusers. So I'm like, see ya. Erica, what do you think about this? Bye.
Oof.
I know.
One thing that I found to be particularly interesting was what Cuomo said to defend himself, that he would never have put himself in the governor's mansion with 10 staff members and his family in the mansion and say he doesn't care who sees. How is that conversation even happening if there isn't some semblance of truth to this story? Like, how did we get to the, I would never say that. It should stop at, I would never do that.
Yes. Right.
So it's a very strange thing. But from what she's saying, like, we don't know because we weren't there. But at the same time, the way that she tells the story, I have a tendency to believe her because I've witnessed these things. I have been definitely on the receiving end of these things, and it just sounds like something that feels very truthful to me.
Very true.
And going back to that press conference, you know what that sounds like? Like, remember Prince Andrews, I believe, remember he says, oh no, it couldn't have been me because I don't sweat. I don't sweat because back in the war
Falkland Islands,
when I lost the ability to sweat. So it sounds like instead of being remorseful, instead of coming out and saying, hey, I can see why someone would feel this way, and I apologize, and being contrite about your actions, he's doubling down. And I want to ask y'all, is this, because this woman said that she wasn't going to come forward at first, but after seeing that and his lack of remorse, that's what empowered her. Are these press conferences doing more damage to the predator than actually helping their image?
It's such a beautiful point, and my father always tells me, when you're in a hole, stop talking. Not just stop digging, just stop talking. You will create more of the hole, you know? The cover-up is always worse. And so just so you know, he can have all these press conferences and say, I'm not going to resign, but guess what? He could be impeached. And at some point, he's going to be. Because it doesn't matter what political party you are, we're human beings and you don't harass us.
And I think this is as bipartisan as we're going to get. I was just in New York over the weekend, and you just see the headlines, the front page of the papers. They're calling him creep, sleazeball, predator.
You don't stand for that.
His reign is over.
All right, let us know what you guys think. Allegedly, that's right. Well, you're never going to believe what happened. This gives me so much anxiety. To a group of friends in Nebraska. They took an elevator downstairs just to check out flash flooding in their neighborhood. Their elevator started to fill up with water. Are you ready for this? It ended up trapping them all the way up to their necks. They called out for help, and friends finally were able to pry open the doors just in time. Thankfully, no one was injured. This is my nightmare.
Yeah,
this is
I really hope something good was in that vape.
I know.
I definitely needed it.
It had to be something in there, some Jesus juice or something, because for them to be alive right now, and they willingly did this. Now, I'm glad they're okay, and I understand that Staples has that easy button, but they must have hit their stupid button because they got themselves.
Should there be consequences for this?
It depends. Like, let's say some of the friends let's say there were some first responders who came and rescued them. If something would have happened to them, then yes, for neglecting and putting them in danger. But
how do they not look more scary?
Well, I think also people underestimate the power of water, regardless of where it is. I lived in a high-rise building, and I was nowhere close to the ground. But when there was a flood in that building, it did go up 13 floors in the elevator. Wow. So people do not and it's inconceivable. You're like, how does water?
All of a sudden.
Water is a very powerful force, and people have to respect it.
Wow.
So if there's flash flooding, even if you're in a high rise, like, you need to assess where the water is and how your safest way. And a lot of times your safest way is to stay put until everything is
cleared.
Yes.
All right, next time, guys, take the stairs. Am I right? Take the stairs.
That won't be better once
that
you get
would have been
down.
better. Good for the heart. President Obama's 60th birthday party was a star-studded affair. The Obamas held the bash at Martha's Vineyard Saturday night, but the guest list was trimmed down from the nearly 500 people who were originally invited after some criticized the decision to hold a big party in the midst of the latest COVID crisis. Now, there weren't too many pics online of the actual event, but singer Erykah Badu posted, then deleted this photo of Obama dancing. I love dad dancing. I love it. As for the guests, Steven Spielberg, Beyonce, and Jay-Z reportedly made the cut. They're okay. They're good. As did Gabriel Union and Dwayne Wade. Gayle King posted this pic for the party and captioned it, quote, "Still going hard on the island." Chrissy Teigen and John Legend posted a series of pics with the mansion in the background, but it appears that Larry David was bumped off the guest list. So he was uninvited along with David Letterman and Conan O'Brien. And I think what a good curb your enthusiasm. Like, you get to go to the former president's party, and then you get uninvited.
They said a lot of people were already on the island. They had already made their way to the island, but you can turn your private jet around.
Yeah, you got the resources.
Do you think this was
turning of the private jet around?
What do you mean? Larry David's got money.
Do you understand that the party was just one tiny piece of an epic weekend? Everybody's there. Like, first of all, Martha's Vineyard is symbolic to have that party there for so many reasons, and that whole weekend was lit. I was looking at my Instagram, and there were several people that I follow. I was like, oh, everybody. They were like, y'all have the internal party. We are going to have the exterior.
Yes, exactly.
So it was like the Met Gala almost.
It really was, and I have to be honest, some people were upset because still people were there. It wasn't closed down completely. But I went, it was outdoors. It was COVID protocols were followed. I went to a concert outdoors. People are going to baseball games, so I don't have a problem with this. I'm glad that he scaled it down, but things are coming in waves as we speak. So I don't think you can really plan with COVID. Do you agree?
No, not at all. But I think those who were probably that first wave of people who got cut from the list were probably unvaccinated people. Remember, Gayle King said that she won't even invite family over to a house, let alone go to a party with people. So
I don't know if it necessarily meant that they were unvaccinated.
I think that
they,
how close they were.
Well, yeah, I think it was. Exactly. It was a proximity thing. And then you have like a list, then you have the list, and then you have like 4 tiers of a list when you're generally doing a party.
I'm still holding on to that time. I wasn't invited to your Super Bowl party, so where was I on the list? And vaccinations weren't even a thing back then, so I got curbed with no enthusiasm.
With no enthusiasm.
We won't get into that.
No, we won't. We're going to move right along. I'm going to save Erykah. I'm going to save Erykah. We got some viral video that's from right here in Colorado. Parks and Wildlife tweeted this out to just show how quickly a bull moose can decide to charge when you get too close. So at first, the bull moose seems totally cool, just munching away. Suddenly, it charges the person.
Which is what moose do.
Here we go. Ooh. Luckily, I am happy to announce no one was injured. The person managed to get behind a tree, and the moose antlers hit the tree instead of the person. We're in their backyard. I don't blame the moose.
I don't understand. What is it about wildlife that's so fascinating to people that they want to try and get up and get so close?
I kind of feel like it's social media. They want to get for the gram.
Yeah, but realistically, just 20 minutes outside of where we're sitting right now, you will drive in certain areas. I just left a friend's house a couple weeks ago, and I had to put the window up because the moose were so close.
Wow.
Okay.
So, I mean, yes, we're in their area, but people have built in that area, and now they're in their backyard. I mean, they're roaming. This is their land.
Yeah,
so
right. I feel like
we're just visitors.
We're just visitors in his backyard.
Exactly.
I will tell you that I learned something about moose. Guess how much they eat in the summer? How many pounds of food a day?
300.
Well, you went too high. Now it doesn't sound cool. 73 pounds a day.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't sound cool when you do it and you guess higher.
Okay. We got another fact? You got a cooler fact
Yeah,
for us?
their antlers shed every year.
Okay.
And they are regrown. All right. Good for you.
Is Bullwinkle coming back?
Yep, definitely. Coming up on DBL, gospel singer Tamela Mann. Find out how her personal struggles helped create the creation of this inspirational album that's coming out. And the summer games are over. Which team is bringing the most medals back home? Stay tuned.
Closed captioning provided by
Hi, DBL Nation. Happy Monday. We are so happy you are here to join us today. Let's continue the conversation at the desk with our host. Hi, guys. How was your weekend?
Have you, the weekend was great, but I was just going to ask them, have they ever, had an encounter with a wild animal?
No, because we're not dumb.
If I see a stray cat, I won't even walk up to it, let alone a bull moose.
No, yeah, I think what a lot of people don't understand is, like Erica was saying, we built in their area, their habitat, and then we're coming in, walking around. First of all, you don't get that close to a moose.
I know, a bull moose at that.
That's common sense.
Oh, your glasses look great, Kel. Also, I did want to say this. I have to address it. In Denver, if you guys didn't know over the weekend, we had the worst air quality in the world. The world. So it's supposed to be around 60 to 90 in air quality. We were at 180 in Fort Collins. We were told not to go outside. It was that unhealthy.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we could.
You could have said mountains.
I had better air quality in New York City.
Way better.
100%.
Way better.
Yep. It was worse than Pakistan, India. Yeah, lots
Russia,
of places. Yep.
Johannesburg, South Africa. So anyway, I'm just saying it's due to a lot of wildfires. And right now there's wildfires in Turkey. There's terrible wildfires in Greece, Italy, in California, of course, and Colorado. Oregon's facing 60 more wildfires than last time. That's double what they had, 60 wildfires. So I'm just letting you know, when we talk about infrastructure and all this stuff, just remind yourself that these once-in-a-century experiences are now happening every single summer. And there's a reason for it. I don't want to fight about it. I don't want to get into it with y'all. It's Monday. But just let's keep your eyes and ears open about what this means. I couldn't go outside with my dog. So now my life is indoors and they couldn't walk on the pavement.
Yeah,
so anyway, I didn't mean to bring it to Bummer Town, but I just wanted to be aware.
Dixie Fire in California is now their state's largest wildfire ever.
And it's every year,
ever.
I feel like.
Yeah, it is. That happens every single year. Last year we did the biggest wildfire ever in California. So yeah, definitely something to keep in mind, guys. We will see you soon. Send us your opinions, send us your thoughts. It's Monday. Let us know how you're doing today.
Welcome back to DBL. The Summer Games in Tokyo have come to an end. After 17 days, the competition, the closing ceremony took place in Tokyo yesterday. The games now move to Paris, France. Paris, France in 2024. A lot of people were commenting on Johnny Weir's hairdo he wore at the closing ceremonies. It included a bouffant bun with a blinged out Olympic ring hairpiece. Team USA finished first in the medal count, They took home 113 medals, including 39 gold medals, just barely beating out China. And get this, U.S. women grabbed nearly 60% of the medals won at this year's game.
Who run the world?
Girls,
there we
or
go.
women if you prefer.
Yeah, there we go, remix.
Wow.
What?
We accepted it because Beyonce said it, and now Tori felt the need to qualify.
I know.
Nobody has ever felt the need to qualify who runs the world, girls, and maybe women until Tori.
And I knew it would stink, but I just had to throw it in there. But you're right, no one should qualify. Sometimes I'll play that in the shower, and it'll pump me up more than anything. Oh. Sorry, great
Now
song.
we can get back to the performances?
Yes.
Okay, because I think the performances outweighed the protests. And I understand a lot of people are like, oh, we're not gonna watch. Just keep in mind, the time zone change was crazy. And a lot of the times before you could even watch it live, people had already known. But we saw the changing of the guard, or the passing of the torch in a lot. I mean, we had a 14-year-old diver from China get 2 back-to-back perfect scores to get a goal.
Did you see the dives?
Yeah, I saw it. It's unreal. It's unbelievable. And it's just unfortunate that a lot of people here weren't able able to not only see our men's basketball team, but our women's basketball team take the gold as well. Sports, the great uniter.
Well, thank you from the athlete who's more than just an athlete.
Cultured athlete.
What's he called? Hashtag,
Yeah.
What is he? Cultured athlete.
Oh, yeah, hashtag cultured athlete. Well, I'm going to talk about Johnny Weir because I find it very hard to believe that anyone is shocked by Johnny Weir's appearance. I mean, come on. You ask Johnny Weir to be a part of anything where there's a camera involved, and the category is Olympic hair fabulosity. Yes, come through. Completely on brand. Totally loved it. And for anybody who was in shock and awe, it's like, wake up.
I completely agree. And if you have been on Instagram, Leslie Jones has been watching with her phone on the camera, and she's been talking about, she shows you the camera and her voice as it's going in commentary. Yeah. And she's got to be out there hosting the next time. She is hilarious. They get thousands of views. She, Kevin Hart, and Snoop Dogg, because they did it for Peacock.
Hilarious.
They got to bring those three and bring some humor into it. I think that'll help.
And a quick shout out to Allison Phoenix, who became the most decorated, who became the most decorated track athlete of all time.
Yes, baby.
There we go.
She is fierce. All right.
Fast.
And fast. Coming up on DBL, she's all the inspiration we need on a Monday. Gospel singer Tamela Mann is chatting with the stars. It's coming up next. It's a good one. Stay tuned.
Close to 100 million Americans who are eligible for the COVID vaccine still have not gotten a shot, and that could be an expensive decision. Let's connect the dots. The vaccine has proven to be incredibly effective at preventing hospitalizations from COVID. Even if a vaccinated person has a breakthrough case, they are much less likely to end up in the hospital because of it. If you do end up hospitalized, it can be devastating for more than just your health. Kaiser Health News reports that some patients are getting six-figure bills for coronavirus hospital stays. And insurance companies could make those costs even higher if you're unvaccinated. Many policies won't cover treatment for what they call risky activities like rock climbing, scuba diving, or even smoking. Some companies may decide that staying unvaccinated falls into that category. So far, insurance companies have not said if they'll charge unvaccinated customers more. Experts agree a price increase probably won't happen until vaccines have full FDA approval. But it's something to think about, as Pfizer could get the okay later this month. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, we caught up with one of my faves, gospel singer and actress Tamela Mann. Take a look at her newest song from her album, Overcomer, in today's Chatting with the Stars.
What will? That was our next guest's latest single, Help Me. You might know her, of course, as Medea's daughter, but her new album, Overcomer, proves there's more behind her famous smile. Joining us live is actress and gospel singer Tamela Mann. Hey, Tamela.
Hey, hey.
Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody?
We're doing
After
well.
that song, we're very good. We're good because of you, sis. Oh, my goodness.
Well, thank you. Look, we all could use a little help.
Hey, that's right.
And Tamela, okay, so a lot of our viewers have written in about you, and we know you've been focusing on your health. You look fantastic, by the way. Many people struggle to get to and maintain a healthy weight. Our viewers want to know what worked for you.
What worked for me is trying to do, make better choices and to actually put on, when I'm making a plate, do like one carb instead of like 1 or 2 carbs on a plate. So that is one thing that kind of helped me along the way. But as the album cover says, overcome. So I'm still trying to overcome this thing. It's nothing that you just learn how to do overnight. I came in the world weighing 9.5 pounds. I've been dealing with this my whole life. And it's not that I want to be skinny or, or really, really small. I just want to be healthier.
Overcomer addresses some of your personal struggles. And most women don't talk about menopause and its impact on mental health. So what do you want other women to know about menopause?
I want other women to know about menopause. It's okay. And to actually let people know that it's happening. It's just like us as a kid, you don't want to let people know that you started on your monthly as a youth, as a teenager. But as a woman and going into this, it's important to let somebody know that something is happening with you, because I didn't know really what was happening to me. It's like I knew that I was happy, then all of a sudden I was sad, and then I may just bust out and start crying and not knowing what was going on with me. But my family stepped in there and helped me out. My husband started researching, and of course I went to the doctor and they prescribed something, but it was taking me too low. So I was not the happy, hunky-dory, cheery person that I was. It was making me really, really sad. And I was about to go into a depression, and I didn't even know. So with the help of family and my faith, I'm just overcoming. That's why I entitled the album Overcomer, that I did need help, that it's okay to ask for help. Sometimes I grew up in the church, so we go to the church for help, but it's okay to get some earthly help, meaning talk to somebody to walk you through it.
So important, especially in today's day and age. But you're a Grammy winner. You had some awards behind you, I see, as well.
Saw those.
You have worked with some incredible people like Wyclef, Timbaland, and Kirk Franklin. Who do you want to work with in the future?
Oh, my dream to work with is, I'm putting it in the air, Celine Dion. I want to do a song with her. Yes. I feel like our voices, because she has such a big voice and I have a big voice, I feel like we will be very compatible.
Now, Tyler Perry is bringing Madea out of retirement with a Madea Homecoming this fall on Netflix. You have to tell us what inspired him to get back into this role.
I think what happened is he called us and he was like, it's so much going on in the world and so many people are dealing with a lot of sadness, losing family members, losing work and homes and all of it. He said, we just need to make the people laugh. And he was like, that's what it's all about right now. So bringing some joy and laughter and, to everyone. And when I tell you, they are coming, I'm the peacemaker, but I'm holding the peace in the family, but they are going to bring some great laughter for everybody.
Looking forward to it.
Tamela Mann, thank you so much for joining us. You're such an inspiration, obviously, to us, but I'm looking at the comments from our viewers. You are appreciated. DBL Nation, her new album, Overcomer, will be available to stream and download this Friday. Mark it on your calendars. Thank you so much, Tamela. We'll be right back. Bye, girl.
Thank you, everybody. Pick it up.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The Verify team is here to clear up confusion and debunk misinformation. And when it comes to this new infrastructure bill, we've seen a lot of questions online. After all, it's more than 2,700 pages, leaving some to wonder what's actually in the bill. Take this tweet: measured to require alcohol monitors in all new cars, hidden in infrastructure bill. And that's just one of many tweets that we've seen, some showing cars with breathalyzers. So let's verify what's true with the help of our sources: the Bipartisan Policy Center, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and the bill itself. Let's start there on page 1066, this section titled Advanced Impaired Driving Technology. It mandates that new cars will be equipped with technology that would, quote, passively monitor the performance of a driver to accurately identify whether that driver may be impaired, and then prevent or limit operation if an impairment is detected. So we can verify that yes, that's currently in the bill. And here's the timeline, according to Zan Fishman from the Bipartisan Policy Center. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration will have up to 3 years to set the rules for what technology applies, and car companies will then have 2 to 3 years to get in compliance, although the Secretary can extend this if need be. All in all, we're talking about within the decade, but possibly a lot sooner. To learn more about what the tech might look like, we went to the advocacy group Mothers Against Drunk Driving, which has been pushing for this policy for years. Stephanie Manning says they're not talking about putting breathalyzers in every new car.
No, we're talking about passive technology where the driver just gets in the car and drives, just like today. The driver won't notice anything, won't have to take any action. We're not talking about getting police involved. We're not talking about calling the cops on anybody. That is not what this is. We're talking about preventing crashes before they happen so that the cops don't have to show up and take people to the hospital and, or worse, the morgue.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments, and I love the name Oda Mae because it makes me think of the movie Ghost. Oda Mae, because that's Whoopi Goldberg. She wrote in, I don't even really like Johnny Weir, but that hair is unbelievable. It's classic. I think if you start to accept Johnny Weir as he has so much knowledge about ice skating, and he's also super fun to watch. He's a great host.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, he really is talented.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. Gladys Knight dressing up is how you show respect for your audience, boo-boo. So he is respecting y'all. Y'all respect the fashion.
That's right. That's why you threw out my shoes when they were terrible.
I did throw away your shoes. Right in that trash can right
That's
there.
right. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.